Hey guys, so today I want to show you how to build a simple planning dashboard like this in Notion that you can actually use. So let's start by pressing Command N to open a new page, and let's title it Productivity Dashboard. Okay, let's make sure to have the full width so we can actually work on the page. Now the first thing we do, we obviously add an icon. Let's write dashboard and just add a random icon, which you can change, and then let's also add the cover. Again, you can change the cover, but for now we are going to be keeping this one. So the first thing I usually do is just this line to separate the title from what I'm trying to do. And now we start from left to right. So the first thing we had was a mission statement. Let's add a callout box. Let's title it mission statement. I like to underline it, change the color to whatever color we want, and alas, we have a mission statement. And we put one block in where basically we will have insert your mission statement here. Okay. Then the second block we had was quarterly goals. So let's again add another call out here. Write quarterly goals, underline it, color it, and change this, let me put myself away, to goals. Okay. And again, similar to before, we will insert quarterly goals here. Okay, now we have this one. Now we have the third one, which was the notes. So let's add another call out called notes. We can again change this to like a pen maybe. Yeah, okay. And then here we had our first button. So we want to make sure that these notes are always added automatically. So what we do is we press slash, we do a button, and then we have the button is inside the Notion. And then we call this button add new notes, and let's first create what we are going to put in the button. So we want to create a list, right, of 3. So the best way I have found is you do a bullet point, so dash and space, and then you press something like a dot, 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 and then you just delete the dots and the list will be kept. So now I want to add an action, insert a block, and I want to, every time I press a button, I want this to be added. So I just drag this in, done, and basically every time we're going to press this, we are going to get 3 bullet points as we did. Okay, amazing. Now let's move to the right side. On the right hand side, we first had a call out with daily tasks. So we first create a call out called daily tasks. Again, let's color it and let's change it to tasks. Okay. And then we simply drag it to the left of this, okay? So this is now dragged to the left of this, which is amazing. And now we start putting in the tasks. So I want to have, again, 3 columns, right? So slash 3, and then I press 3 columns. The first column is big rocks. The second column is nice to haves. And the third column is if I can's, okay? And under each column, I want to have a couple of check marks, so you can make this signs and press space and it will add it automatically. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, and then we again delete this, and then we simply duplicate, oh, okay. And then we can do the same for the other one. Okay. And lastly for the if I can's. Voila. Now what we can also do, we can color them. These are big rocks, which are the most important. These are nice to have, which I will then color in yellow. And then if I can's, if I have more time, let's use pink. Okay. So now we just also push this here. Okay, so now we have mission statement, quarterly goals, notes, and daily task on the right. We want to have another call out box after this one, which is the daily habits. So let's add a callout box. Let's call it daily habits. Let's change this to a circle or something repetitive. Yes, because daily habits are repetitive. And again, what we want to do is basically we want to have two types of habits. Habits that I must do and habits that I can do. So let's again press slash, two columns. In the first ones, must do's. In the second one, can do's. And again, we can add the tick boxes. Let's keep free for now. And here as well, we add the tick boxes via shortcut. If you don't want to add them via shortcut, you can also just find these basic blocks of to-do list and it will add them for you. Again, I want to color this a little bit. So must do's for me will always be green, and then can do's for me will always be yellow. Okay. So this is the basic table for being on top of your daily task and daily habits, right? So I want to add two views or two things on top. On the left side, I want to add the Pomodoro timer because I spent a lot of time using Pomodoro and I want to have it here. So what we do, we simply go on the page on internet and we press Pomodoro timer widget for Notion. We just pick one and we can do this with all the widgets. Let's say this one. Maybe not this one. Maybe this one. And we just copy, press embed, and voila, we now have a Pomodoro timer as well. You can search for different ones. I used a different one in previous, in my dashboard, but this is just an example. And then basically now you have a Pomodoro timer, which you can start and stop and play around with. Okay, so the last thing that we need to have here is basically a weekly planner. So again, I want to create it on the right hand side, add a callout box, weekly tasks, and here we're going to be creating a table. And this table will be created by pressing dash, table, we always take the table view, which is the database, press yes, okay. Let's first name the table weekly tasks and hide the name. We rename this table to weekly tasks, and maybe let's also change the icon. And here we can also change the icon. Okay, so this first column can never be changed. So for that reason, we are going to call it task name. Okay, and let's change the icon again to something better. So here we'll have a task name. What I like to do to format it, basically, let's just open one of them. Let's create a template. Don't put anything in, but just create an icon for the tasks, okay? And once you have it, you go on the blue button, you find it, and you set it as default. So what will happen now? If I add a new one, it will always add this icon inside. Let's delete this one. Okay, this is amazing. Now for these tasks, what we also want to have is the checkbox, right? Want to check how we're progressing on them. So let's add a property checkbox and let's add it at the beginning and make it small. Voila. Now the next property I want to have, and I want to delete this one because this one is not the one I will have. The next property I want to have is what day of the week will I need to do them. When I do Sunday planning, I want to understand which days of the week this task will go in. So let's add a text column, a text property, and let's simply name it day of the week. So what you will put, let's say this is do laundry. Let's say day of the week, it needs to be done on Monday. Okay. So what's the last thing that we need to do here, right? We need to already assign this priority. So we will go to add the property, we will add select, and we will name it importance, okay? And what we are going to do, we are going to mirror what we had before. So big rocks, nice to haves, if I can's. And if you want to put them in the same color, which I think we should, we basically press on one of them. And then basically we just change the colors with these three dots. So big rocks were green, nice to haves were yellow, if I cans were pink, I think. Okay. So now we have a weekly task planner. Now the only thing left to do is to format the table a little bit. So I like to keep these ones a little bit smaller. Maybe we gray these text out, right? Okay. And maybe we also want to have these ones in another color. So I like to put them gray so they stand out. Let's just change the color to gray. I forgot one thing, and that is adding the button to the table. Because we don't want every week that this table needs to be recreated, we can simply, as we did before, we can simply add a button, right? So let's press / button, add a new weekly table. Here add action. Whenever the button will be clicked, we will insert the blocks, and the blocks we will insert is basically this table. Done. So now we have the button. Whenever we press this button, it will basically create a new table for us. And then what to do with all tables? I usually just like to create a page, call it archive. Maybe let's add an archive icon. And whenever you are done with the table, you can simply move it to archive and create a new one. Halas, this is it. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you in the next one, guys.